Okay, now that we have the kick and the snare, we can start to actually do sort of the real song. And we're going to begin doing this by making essentially the progression of the song. And I'm going to do this with the Giant, because I like the Giant. But any, reasonably good piano is fine for this purpose. And I'm going to show you some cool stuff you can do with piano processing. It's really very basic stuff. In terms of what I tend to do with piano. So let's put this way over here. Banana. The first thing I'm going to do is compress the crap out of it. Just not much else required. I mean, there's there's else required, but in terms of compression, I'm just doing that. Not a big deal. Let's do a little bit of equalization. Neat. And a teensy bit, and by teensy bit, I mean kind of a lot of reverb. Nice. Now, that might have sounded dumb, but that's because my keyboard doesn't have the velocity sensitivity engaged. And I do that on purpose. But we are going to be doing a lot of velocity-sensitive stuff. And the beginning of this progression is really quite simple. Looking at my notes. Yay. So this song is a melodic, dubstep song. This is why we're beginning with the progression, because everything that we're going to do is going to be sourced from what we're going to write here. Now, when I was writing it, I decided that I wasn't going to try too hard. And what I mean by that is that I'm just going to use a relatively simple progression that's still fairly common, but easy to get into. And that progression is... Whoops. That one. That's the progression. Let's bring it down a bit. And let's make some chords. Yeah, and now I'm gonna sort of arpeggiate this. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna chop everything like that, and then just look, it automatically groups it. I didn't know it did that. That's interesting. The reason why I didn't chop the rest of these is because I'm gonna do this part manually. Is that where I want to do this? Am I doing this way too fast? I am doing this way too fast. Okay. Control Z forever. Chop. There we go. Now one over. What we're doing it like this kind of acts like the sustain. Some piano samplers will have actual support for sustain, and that's cool if you can find it. But if you don't, then you can mimic it by just having notes last longer. Yeah. So I dig that, and we're gonna make a variation of this where this goes down to the major. Neat. And on top of this, we're gonna do a relatively simple melody. It's gonna kind of follow the progression. Now, coming up with a melody, you gotta really spend a lot of time. Actually, literally, I'm basically just copying something I wrote before. But writing this kind of stuff is basically just pick a key that you're in. In this case, we're in the key of G minor, and write notes that are in the key. And a lot of times, students will ask me when they want help on music theory, what they're looking for is a particular kind of shortcut where they can write things that they know are going to be right. And music theory and certain kinds of training, especially things called aural skills, can help you with that. But it's still relying on your sensibilities. It's relying on the idea that you know that when you write something down, that it sounds good. And so when I wrote this down, or a version of this, I would listen to it while I'm playing it, and I would hear the note. And if the note is right, I'll leave it there. And if it's wrong, then I'll change it. And that's basically what you're already doing, what you have been doing, to get to the point where you're thinking there has to be another way. There has to be a way to generalize what I know to be right to actually be what I want to do when I want to do it. And the answer to that question is that desire is that there isn't really. It's still just relying on whether or not it sounds good to you. And this is the progression that the entire song will follow. The lead elements will have this element, and the rhythm elements will have this element. And then some elements will have a hybrid of the two that will kind of fit in the middle. They can sort of fill space. But just about everything is going to follow this. We'll put that over there somewhere. This is basically our plate, if you will. And all the other elements that we write, all the other synths, all the layers, all the stuff will all be from that. And so after that is mostly just a point of designing the sounds that are going to have the elements we want. So let's do that. Moving on.